Coffee time, coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Just think it always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right. In my life, it's never a wrong time or a crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on, coffee time, coffee time. In my life, coffee time, coffee time. It's alright, I need it. Coffee time, coffee time.
Like somebody share.
Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Just think it always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right. In my life, it's never a wrong time or a crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on, coffee time, coffee time. In my life, coffee time, coffee time. It's alright, I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you serve it, let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot, come on.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? How did you rest last night? Good morning, good morning. Forgot. So we're talking about this morning that the source, your source is in you. I had it all nicely written out, but we're talking this morning, your source is in you. You know, a lot of people get up, they go to work in the morning. A lot of people are thinking, a lot of people are bartering, a lot of people are making calls because they are looking for resources, money. It's money that makes the world go around. You can say what you want to say. I don't care how much faith you have. You need money to get stuff done. So we're going to be talking about some of that this morning. What I want to do first, though, is I do want to do my good mornings. Hopefully you had a peaceful night's rest. Hopefully things are getting better in your life. T. Berry, good morning to you. Welcome to Coffee Time. Chanel Wells Bracey, good morning. Cassandra Threets Thomas, good morning. Tina White McPherson, good morning. Dr. Annette Love Lyons, good morning. Vonetta Perry, what up? Netta. Tanasha D. Dollars, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Time. Jacoby Toby, good morning. Kobe. Hope Jordan, good morning. Good to see you this morning. Liz Harris, good to see you as well. Tarika Pittman, good to see you. Welcome to Coffee Time. Good morning to you. Car Davis, what's up, bro? Long time no see. Good to see you. Natasha Elizabeth, good morning, love. Welcome to Coffee Time. And did I miss anybody? Chanel Patrick, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Time. Venus Darling Hubbard, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Time. Gerald Bazell Sr., good morning. Happy Friday to you as well. Freeman Edgar, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Time. And Edith Hodges, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Time. Happy Friday to everybody. The weeks go by so fast. I'm telling you, they're moving fast. And this morning we're talking about, again, the source is in you. Just say that to yourself. Say it out loud where you can hear yourself. The source is in me. And that's what we're talking about this morning, I'm sorry. So what happens, or what tend to happen to most of us, is that on a hunt looking for the bag. All of us are looking for the bag. And we've become so bag focused. We've become so money focused. Monique Ross. What up, Nick? Good morning. Marcus Whitaker. What up, boy? Good morning. Q Rattler Perry. Good morning to you. Stacy Walker Hall. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Time, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, in a hunt looking for the bag, many of us, we lose focus on the eternal because we are seeking the temporary. We cannot allow our temporary to distract us from the eternal. Now, what do I mean by the eternal? Everybody was born for a reason, for a purpose. Everybody has an assignment here on earth. When God created you, he created you with an idea in mind. His ideology of you can be seen in your gifts. It can be seen in your abilities. It can be seen basically what you're able to do, what you're passionate about, kind of defines God's idea of you. So everybody has something that they're supposed to contribute to leave the world in a better place than it was before you arrive. Your gift, your talent is the answer to somebody else's problem. So what happens in life, we're generally thrown off of the path. As kids, we're innocent. We have a vision, we have a view. And generally speaking, whatever we see as kids are some of the things that we are supposed to pursue because we're innocent. Nobody's touched our soul. Nobody's touched our mind. Nobody's turned us. Nobody's perverted us. Nobody's twisted us. And it's in the purity of knowing who you are that you're able to define what you do. After abuse, after misuse, the only thing abuse is it's misuse. Our minds change. Our minds are twisted. As a result of a twisted mind, a changed mind, we start to settle. And it's in our settling. Many of us never get back to the place of wholeness because some of the things that have happened to us in our life. Now, the other thing that begins to set in is the media controls the narrative of how you should spend your life. So they project certain images, certain videos, certain TV shows, certain magazines to try to control the narrative of your living. If they can control how you live, they can control what you buy. If they control what you buy, they are now controlling your life by controlling your income. So they push the narrative of you living, working, retirement, investment. And while it may be good from a social standpoint of living, it's not good when you consider what you were created to do. So now we get jobs because we've created debt, whether it's school, college. We created debt, so now we have to get a job to pay the debt off. So we don't choose our jobs by what's in us. We choose our place of employment by our need. So slowly but surely, the need now begins to pull us from a place of purpose, a place of living our dream, and we conform to what we have to do to pay this debt off. Then we get cars. We want nice houses. We want nice things, and none of these things are bad. They're actually good. It's okay to like, want, desire nice things, nice cars, houses. Where it becomes troubling and troubling some is when we have to work to pay for the stuff that we bought on credit. And now the bills and our monthly budget rule us and tell us what we have to do. Many of you, you know, if you had it your way, if you could make your choice, you would not be on the job that you're on. So now we choose jobs by income. We go to what pays the most because I have a budget that I have to meet and I cannot make less than this. So now the job or the budget becomes our boss. The budget becomes our master. And we walk through life, we serve through life based on what our master tell us to do. It's not your boss that keeps you on your job. It's not. It's those bills. It's that monthly budget. That monthly budget now makes you tolerate things that you would not tolerate, makes you consider doing things you wouldn't normally consider. Why? Because that budget comes with pressure. What if I'm late? It ruins my credit. If it ruins my credit, now it puts me in a different class. Your credit determines the class. Your class. Your credit is going to determine what you pay in your interest rate. Your credit is going to determine what you qualify for. So now you student loans, God forbid you have to go to the hospital. You have student loans, you have hospital bills, you have bills that you've accumulated because you like nice things. There's nothing wrong with that. Then you have bills that you've accumulated because you had to get certain things and your job didn't pay you enough. So you ran up your credit cards and you want to go on vacation. You want to look good for bae. So all of these things now compiled together become compound problems. Now we're in debt and we work the job we work, not because we're called to it, but the job that we work helps us meet the budget that we have. Now there are exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, this is how we as Americans live. So we're looking for the bag. The bag becomes our focus. The bag becomes the objective of us getting up in the morning. How can I make more money? What idea can I generate? What idea can I contribute that will get me the money where I can live the way that I want to live, give the way that I want to give, and not be stressed out by my bills? So now this consumes our mind. It occupies our place and space of thought. And now we're no longer thinking clearly because of the pressure of the bills. The bills now becomes the taskmaster. And the master determines what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. The master determines whether you're going on vacation. The master determines what type of car you're going to drive. So now you're working and your life is governed by money because of the bills. Now, there's a scripture in the Bible that says no man can serve two masters. It says either you love one and hate the other. You can't serve God and mammon. Mammon is money. But I'm trying to show you how we get in the trap of working for money instead of working for purpose. So now you have kids that need things. You got to have a place to live. You got to have a car. You got to have insurance. There are things that you like to have that keeps you encouraged, things that you buy. So slowly but surely, you work to provide and get money to fulfill your monthly obligations, to fulfill your monthly debt. And now you don't work a job because it's what you dreamed. You don't work the job of your heart. You're forced to get a job that's going to pay you enough money to take care of your monthly necessities. So slowly but surely, your life no longer becomes your own. It's controlled now by your budget. If your life is controlled by your budget, then money dictates what type of budget you have, and you're going to find a job that pays you the money that you need to do the things that you have to do. So slowly but surely, you may be a believer. You may be praying, God, let your will be done in my life. God, let your will be done in my life. But you've already changed God's, not in your heart, but in your actions. You're not serving God. You're serving your monthly budget. Your budget tells you whether you're going to church. Your budget going to tell you how you express love towards other people, whether it's birthdays, Mother Days, holidays, Father's Day. You determine what you're going to do for the people you love, not by the voice of God, not by your desire, but by what you can afford. We do what we do based on what we can afford. So our budget now leads us. Our budget controls us, and our budget tells us when we're going to worship and where we're going to worship. Because you can love a church 30 minutes from your house, but if you don't have the gas to get there, you can't worship there unless you go online. So slowly but surely, the budget begins to control. The budget becomes your job, your God. You're working to fill the budget. So it becomes your job to meet the budget. And slowly but surely, if you're not careful, that budget becomes your God. Because you will miss things with your kids. You will miss things that God told you to do because you got to meet this budget. And that's what happens slowly but surely in America with everybody. You live where you live, not necessarily because that's what you desire. Some people, yeah, but most of us know it's what you can afford. You drive what you drive, not necessarily because that's what you desire. You drive what you can afford. Now, for those of us who you have what you want, you have what you desire because you have enough money to do the things that you like to do, you got to maintain your way of living. Unless you pay cash for everything, you still have a budget. So now the budget dictates your schedule. It's going to dictate what jobs you take, when you go to work, how long you stay at work, what you do for the kids, what you don't do for the kids. Everything is controlled by your budget. And I think at some point, all of us have been there. I'm reading some of the comments as well. Chanel Patrick says, living for the budget and not living for purpose. That's good. And that's what we do. We live to meet our budget. So when a person starts talking and challenging us on purpose, well, what is purpose? Purpose is the idea that God had in mind when he created you. And if you look at the gifts that you have, if you look at your abilities, they lead you to the lane that you're supposed to be living your life in. Your gifts will take you to the lane that you're supposed to be operating in your life. Music has been a part of my life my entire life. My entire life, I've been a music lover. I have certain gifts and giftings as it relates to music. Well, music early on for me, I knew I didn't know to what capacity, but I knew, I really did, y'all, that at some point music was going to occupy my life to some degree. I didn't know to what measure, but because of the passion that I have for it, the love that I have for it, the love that I have for music started to create a path in life for me to gain income. Now, I didn't, and I'm talking, I was young now, I was younger. It wasn't that long ago. I'm only 29, and it does not change. I have a cousin that's on here. She's like a sister to me, Stacy Keller Chisholm. She's always barking about, I'm older than, no, you're older than me, boo. Pickett is 29. So the system of America is built off capitalism, and capitalism has been the mantra, it's been the example for how we live our lives in America. It determines how we choose where we go. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is not a place. The kingdom of God is actually a set of rules that God requires us to live by. One of the rules of the kingdom is love. You gotta love your neighbor. He gave you 10 commandments that we should govern our lives accordingly to. And then he added an 11th. And the 11th is greater than the other 10 according to the man that wrote it. He said, love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. So how we live has been determined by our budget, and that is the American way, but that is not the God way. And I think there's a higher level of consciousness that we have to subscribe to that requires us to go beyond what we see, go beyond what we hear, and get in a place of quietness and begin to govern our lives by what's inside of us. So one of the things that it's challenging to do is to unlearn what we've been taught. We've been taught to work, build the bag, retire, and leave an inheritance to our children and our children's children. But that is not how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to pursue the thing inside of us that gives us reasons and passions to live. There are reasons and passions that rest on the inside of you that create or should create the source for your living. Meaning, I don't work to get the bag. I work to discover the purpose inside of me. I work to discover my gift. Then I work on perfecting my gift. The more I perfect my gift, the more it attracts opportunity. So the things that I am passionate about, the things that I would die for, the things that I would do if money was not a problem, are the things that I'm supposed to be pursuing. But in order to get to those things, I have to unpack the things that life have placed on me and told me to do that are contrary to how I'm supposed to live. And it can be a troubling thing. It's not something you just do overnight. It's something that, it can be lifelong. It can be lifelong if you're not careful. You can die and never live your purpose. You can die and never do the things that bring you joy. So there's a natural way of living, and nature gives us signs as to where we should be. All right. So if you can't figure it out on your own, here's some natural things that you can do to discover what you should be doing. What makes you happy? That's the first thing that I'm going to give you a list of things. One, what makes you happy? That is a question that you have to ask yourself. What makes you happy? Put it on the screen. What makes you happy? Another way of saying that is what brings you joy? When you wake up in the morning, what causes you to be excited? Why is that important? Because if I can discover what brings me joy and fuel that, then I will always be happy if I'm always giving fuel to what brings me joy. So, Chanel Patrick says, dance and fitness. So I'm going to use you, Chanel, as an example. If dance and fitness makes you happy, I'm going to write it. We're talking about the sources inside of you. All right. So if dance and fitness makes you happy, here's what you need to do. And I'm just using her for an example since she's putting it out there. Create opportunities for others to dance and join you in fitness. It's real simple. What makes you happy? Create opportunities for it. Create opportunities for others to join you in it. Then this is going to be real good. This is the third thing. So the first thing is discover what makes you happy, what brings you joy. The second is create opportunities for others to join you in it. The third thing, learn how to monetize from it. Learn how to monetize from it. In other words, if you're talking about the sources inside of you, why do you like dancing and fitness? Is that something you created? No. Most things that we love, we enjoy, was downloaded in us from God to create a sense of passion for us to have on earth. And that passion will fuel the joy. So our happiness is connected to what we do instinctively. Frustration, irritation, and agitation is tied to those things that we're forced to do that do not come natural to us. So God downloads the idea to you, right? He gives you the passion for it. That passion gives you the strength to pursue it. And while you are pursuing it, you have to study ways to monetize it. Once you monetize what you're passionate about, you will always have joy, even if there is no money. It's simple. We've complicated it, but it's really simple. But discovering what you should live for comes with searching your heart as to what gives you joy. It's got to be bigger than Bay. Bay can't be the only thing that gives you joy. What happens when Bay dies? Or Bay decides to step out and share the love. And what happens when Bay decides to have community underclothes? I mean, he or she shares their underclothes with the community. In other words, they're giving everybody a sample of. Okay, you see my point. We've complicated it. We've overcomplicated it, and it's time for us to go back to the simplicity of living. One of the things that this quarantine has taught me. I don't need what I thought I needed to live. No, my budget was here, but the quarantine taught me my lifestyle is really here. So there's an illusion that comes with money. There's an illusion that is tied to money. The more money you have, the more you can do. The more money you have, the more you can spend. So when you have a lot of money, your budget increases. And the things that you call necessities are not necessities. They're amenities that we've added to appease, in most cases, something that is broken in us. We spend to satisfy a craving that was created by lack or abuse. Big spenders, I can promise you this. Big spenders, when you trace big spenders, the reason they're spending is they're hiding something that is broken. So they have to keep rewarding themselves and giving themselves something to make them smile. But this is the illusion of buying. Because after you get it, you don't really like it the way you liked it when you saw it. So the illusion of buying keeps you chasing the illusion of buying. And I say it all the time. When you chase illusions, you become delusional. So you're dizzy in your own thought. You don't have enough to live, primarily because something is broken in you that you've not fixed. But you've learned how to medicate it with temporary happiness. Instead of discovering the foundation or the seed of your joy, which is hidden inside of your purpose, you appease it. You pacify yourself with things that make you temporarily happy. So you have to unpack why you're spending. Why do you need that? You don't need that stuff. That stuff that you're buying, you don't need it. Some of you are hoarders. You buy stuff and greed has your heart. You don't see it as greed, but when is the last time you used it? Why won't you give it away? There's something in your mind that keeps you glued to the ideology that you'll use it later, but it's been 3, 4, 5 years. You still have it. You've never even taken it out of the box. Bro, something wrong with you. Sis, something is wrong. And until you begin to unpack the why behind the what, you're going to run it in circles of illusion, and that's going to make you delusional. You will never have the joy and the peace that God promised because you have not unpacked the problem. You pacify it, but you haven't satisfied it. So what you have to do, the first thing, remember now, we're talking about the source is in you. It's not on your job. It's not in your bay. It's not in your family. It's not in your kids. There's a greater source for living that God has instilled inside of you. He's deposited it inside of you. You've got to study and find out what that is. Well, how do we get there? How do we unpack? How do we discover what really brings me joy? Well, let's go back to point one. Point one is, what makes you happy? What brings you joy? What is it that you would do if money was not a problem? In other words, all your bills are paid, everything's caught up, everything's paid off, you're living debt free. What would you do if you did not have to work for money? What are you passionate about? What is it? And I'm asking these questions. I'm putting them on the screen because I think these are the things that we need to think about. All right. So the first thing is, what makes you happy? Let me move it up so you can see it. The second thing that you need to do once you discover what your passion is, number two, find opportunities to invite others in on your passion. Let's say Chanel said dance and fitness. So here's what I would do. I would perfect dance and fitness, and I would get all of the information that I can get on dance and fitness to create an opportunity that meets the need of this generation. What is this generation lacking? Exercise. So I would use dance. This is free consultation that I'm giving y'all. I would use dance as an opportunity to get people fit. I would marry the two. It's not that people want to exercise and they want to be in shape, but exercising is boring. Reps. But if people like to dance, then you promote the dancing, and the sidebar is it's going to also help you get in shape. You've got to discover a need. That's what's going to help you in life is you got to discover a need. If you discover a need, how do you unpack it again? First thing you got to do, find out what makes you happy. The second thing that you've got to do, find opportunities to invite others in on your passion. Do before you launch your business, before you start monetizing off of it, here's what you need to do. Invite people in to do it free. You're starting out. Tell them we're gonna have party nights. And on our party nights, everybody comes, we're gonna dance, and I'm gonna help you get in shape Saturday mornings, Friday nights. We're gonna take breaks. I'm gonna show you how to meal prep. I'm gonna show you how to eat. What's the problem? People are not in shape because they've been in quarantine. And you stay in the house, you get lazy. Listen, y'all, I had gotten so big. I did. And I didn't realize how big I was until I took a picture and my arms were up here on my stomach. And I say, who in the world is that dude? And everywhere I went, people start saying, when did you get a gut? Well, that's unattractive to me. I didn't like it. So I started to lose it. And I've gone down 2 sizes. That's how much weight I've lost. I've gone down 2 sizes. So find out what makes you happy. Find opportunities to invite others in on your passion. You do that by discovering the need. When you discover the need, you can become the answer. I'm going to write that down. Discover the need. When you discover the need, then you can become the answer. The key to longevity is being the answer. Find the problem, be the solution. Does anybody have any questions? Now, I can tell you step by step how I have unpacked all of these things. I'm still unpacking them. It's different when you're called to do multiple things. Now, I'm called to do a lot of things. Let me give you this too. Man, yesterday a friend of mine sent me a text. I'm gonna read the text to you. I'm gonna show you. Well, so yesterday I called a friend of mine. They are so. Let me unpack this part slowly and carefully. As you discover the need, become the solution by figuring out what you like to do if money wasn't a problem. As you begin to pursue that idea, it will attract support. Let me write that down. I think that's good. I'm going to say it again. I want to put it on the screen. As you unpack the idea and pursue it, it will attract support. I'm going to say it again. It's on the screen, but I want to make sure you get it in you. As you unpack your idea, as you discover what the idea is, as you go in pursuit of the idea, you got to do your research. You got to talk to people. You got to get around people maybe that do what it is you do. If there's nobody in your area that do it, they don't understand it, you got the world at your fingertips. It's called Google. And if I were you, I'd find 10 people that do the very same thing and study their stuff on Google, YouTube. The world is at your fingertips. All the information that you need is right there at your fingertips. Google, YouTube. It will show you how to launch it, how to do it, what you need to have. How to make it a business, for profit, what paperwork you need to fill out. It will tell you step by step, so you're without excuse. As you unpack your idea and pursue it, it will attract the support that you need to fulfill it. So, as I begin to launch things that I've launched in the earth, every entity has its own crowd. I found out that the people that followed me in radio, they don't necessarily follow Coffee Time. Coffee Time has its own audience. Radio has its own audience. The Master's Class has its own audience. Terrence Pickett Live has its own audience. The Terrence Pickett Show has its own audience. So I have these pockets of ideas that represent certain things that are supposed to attack certain issues. They're similar, but they're different because what they're designed to do, they're pulling a different crowd. And each crowd supports each project. Some people support all the projects. Well, that is God attracting people to you to help support and get the idea out of you. And those people that are around you more than likely are called to do what you do, so they're taking their lessons from you. So God's going to make sure they get what they need while they're giving you what you need. You never have to worry about being in this by yourself. God will cause people, men and women, to give to your bosom. You just got to make sure the product is right. So I had a friend of mine yesterday to share something with me. I called them, and let me, I'm going to unpack this with you. I've got some great news. In fact, I have a meeting at 10:30 in 1 hour. So I'm going to be getting off in the next 10 to 15 minutes because we got approved to get on another network. We're already with Sony, Experience on Demand. There's another network that we were approved to be on yesterday. They're going to carry Coffee Time. I'm meeting this morning about that network, right? The radio app is almost available. So we're going to have global radio, global TV on multiple networks. So as I began to tell this person, they are a friend of mine, and this is what they told me. God told me to support the work of your hands. I'm here to help. And I generally call them when God plants an idea or I'm trying to figure stuff out. I'll call them because they have great wisdom. They have great insight. So yesterday, I began to tell them about the new network. And I'm not going to talk too much about the new network because Sony's waiting for me with the new show. We do have a release date. I got the release date yesterday when it's going to air. I'm going to be sharing that with you. It ain't no hope. What we hope it is, the pandemic has set us back in some areas. There's a lot of different details that we had to work out, rework out. We finally got it done. We're recording new shows now, and we're going to air these shows. I give you the date. It's already been solidified. But before I open my mouth, I'm gonna give everybody the date, the information. But I called my friend yesterday to go over some of the detail. And they had given me a chart. They texted a picture of the chart that God had given them in regards to me. Okay. They have Coffee Time. There's an arrow that goes to TV and radio. They have Engage. Engage is a church. That's what it is. It's a Bible study. It's a church. They have local, nationally. Then they have life coaching, mentorship, masterclass. So, Coffee Time, Engage, life coaching, Terrence Pickett Show. All of that embodies TV, radio, locally, nationally, mentorship, masterclass. Then they have different scriptures set to different projects that God gave them for me. Here is the awesome part about this. I never shared with them the stuff that they wrote on this paper, but it's identical to how God gave it to them. Here's what I'm saying to you. Be encouraged, because there are going to be many nights, many days, you're going to feel that you are in this alone. And for the most part, you're going to have to shoulder the responsibility of it. And sometimes it gets heavy, and seemingly it becomes too heavy for you to bear. But you need to know that while you are working on that, God has people that are going to meet you at a certain point. Now, the help doesn't come automatically. The more you release, the more help you're going to get. The more you do. Now, after I got the deal with Sony, I could have went to sleep. Hey, we done made it. Mama, we made it. because their platform has over 2.7 billion viewers. The only thing we have to do is attract those viewers and get in a part of that market. They're going to help us with the advertising, with the marketing. They do all of that along with us on our end. But I could have gotten comfortable with that because that is major. I'm not. That's the beginning. I'm still working on other networks. I'm still working on marketing plans. We have people that we have relationships with that we're bartering. We're building something. I have a production team. It's not just about me. There are other shows that I'm going to produce. I have to keep it moving. You can't become satisfied. Satisfaction is the pill that will make you lazy. The moment you get satisfied in what you have, you start to lose. Vanetta Perry says, seeing fathers and sons have a healthy, rewarding connection and relationship, that is my passion. I like that. So Vanetta and I go way back. So I can say this to her, and I know she'll receive it in love. So if that's your passion, I'm not telling people to quit their job to pursue their passion. No, you got to be skillful about this, and you've got to use wisdom because you got to eat. You've got to minimize your debt so you can capitalize on your idea. So if you have a passion for fathers and sons having a healthy and rewarding connection, relationship in your community, then you're going to have to do something that's going to attract sons and something that's going to attract fathers. You know, the little brunches and the teas, that stuff is cute and good, but men, we don't roll like that. We're not going to be coming to your tea every week. But I tell you what we will do. If you have a tea and give us tickets to a basketball game, NBA, NFL, we'll bring our sons, come to your tea, be empowered by you as you pour into us. You can give us tickets half off, or you can partner with different organizations that will buy the tickets for you. And I'm not talking about Orlando Magics. No, there are organizations that will partner with you that will pay for airline tickets for these fathers to take their son to a LA game, a Lakers game, to go see the best, Bron. You know what I'm saying? Or anywhere when the NBA is playing out of the country, Italy, France, Spain. Some of those places like that where they're having NBA games, preseason, regular season, whatever the case is, you can fly them over there. Or you create a budget, cause people to give into that budget. I can connect you with a travel company. Listen, like none other, these little travel agencies, no shade. If you're making money, good for you. But where you will stay in resorts, airline tickets is included, and you're not going to pay much money, maybe $300 round trip, maybe $400, depending on where you're going. I can send you to Aruba, two of y'all, for an entire week, 7-day stay. Your airline, your resort, your food, everything's all inclusive, and you might pay $1,000. I have those kind of connections. I am connected to Blue Green Resorts. They are worldwide. I can get deals nobody else can. I have a relationship with them, a business partnership with them. As a result of this business partnership, I don't talk about it much, but as a result of this partnership, I'm able to do things nobody else can do. You can own them if you like, or you can just do it per trip. And AT is not on the table. You better believe it, Vanetta. Hey, and let me know how I can help you. Let me know. I'll get my son and we come. I'm serious. Let me know how I can help. So you have to unpack this stuff, and the more you execute it, God will send you the help that you need. All right? Do anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Anybody. The source is in you. Your dream is your source. As you unpack your dream, God will send the resources to support the source of why you were created to live. I think the most vain thing that we can ever do is die and people talk about what we own instead of the legacy that we build to place in the hearts of people. I think we ought to make impressions. Man, when I die, I want it to be said that I ignited something in people and caused them to think and to become greater than what they already were, or at least believe the greatness that was on the inside of them, to execute ideas, whatever it is. I want to be a person that brought change to cause people to see clearly and pursue the things that God has placed in their heart. That's it. I've got to go. Got a meeting in 45 minutes. I always enjoy my time with you. Thank you for watching and tuning in to Coffee Time. Without your ear, I don't have a voice. You make this possible. You're born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you today that the wisdom on the inside of you is not capable of handling. You need to calm down, slow down, be quiet, and let wisdom speak. When wisdom speak, you will always win. You all have a productive day. Go and be great. Make a difference in somebody's life. And always remember to think higher, speak life. Those of you that are my monthly partners, continue your support. I appreciate your monthly giving. Those of you that would like to become a monthly partner, or maybe you want to give one time, I'm going to give you my Cash App name. It is Sponsor Coffee Time. That's what it is. Sponsor Coffee Time. Of course, the more we do, the more money we need, the more responsibility we have. We're about to blow this thing up. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. It's going to provide opportunity for a lot of people. Terry T. Harris. Y'all, let me tell you something. Terry T. Harris is my dude. When we went on TV the very first time, Terry T. Harris sponsored many of the shows that we did. He has been a great source and resource of support. He's one of the ones that I will tell you about. Once you begin to launch the things that God's called you to do, God will cause people to help support you in it. You never have to worry about being alone. So I appreciate you, man. Hope all is well. Terry T. Harris also has Skate City. Y'all make sure you all support him in what he's doing as he supports so many. Good to see you, man. We need to talk, do lunch, catch up, that kind of stuff. But everybody else, the Cash App is on the screen. If you can sow $100 today, $1,000 today, $1 million today, $10,000, $10 million, whatever you can sow today will help us further what we're doing. We're on the Sony Network. Our first episode is going to be showing real soon. I'm excited. I already have the date. I'll share it with you in the days to come. There are commercial and build outs that we have to do that aren't done as of yet, but we already have the day that it's going to air. We just got an opportunity to sign with another network. I have a meeting in 45 minutes. So Coffee Time is going to be on multiple networks running at the same time. We're still working on the radio app. You're going to be able to hear us and see us everywhere you go, everywhere in the world. That's a wonderful opportunity. And we're not done yet. We're still going to build and provide opportunities. So when you give, you're helping us further what we do, and you're giving people who would not have ordinarily the opportunity to be on network TV. You're giving them their chance. You're giving them their start. So I need your support. I need your help. My Cash App is on the screen. I'm asking all of you Help us out. Maybe you don't have $1 million. Maybe you don't have 10 million. Maybe you can't give 10,000, but you have 1,000.